All right, good morning, everyone. We're going to get started here. All right. U.S. markets traded up sharply right at the beginning of the session. Really held on to that, and we're at the highs of the day with about an hour left. And we really actually sold off quite quite reasonably in the last hour of the day. I mean, that's typically kind of telling for the next day's action. And we always talk about the last hour or last half an hour being the most important action of the day. I think quite impressive the way that we managed to rally yesterday, kind of in Europe and in the U.S. on the back of the previous day's session and on the previous day's action out of Asia. There was a lot of economic data that came out. Most of it was a little bit weaker than expected, but it just didn't have a material effect really on the underlying market. We also saw some of this weaker data start to give a little bit of a lift to some precious metals and things like that. The gold price started to run. Copper caught a small bounce, silver. So it's something important for us to watch going forward and see how the data continues to progress. In Asia, we had a bit of a mixed session. We did have Japan that was up again, or was up small after yesterday's down 5% session. We continue to see, quite reasonable swing arounds. I think today from high to low, from the tops to bottoms of the Japanese market, we also had a 3.5% move. So it is moving around quite viciously there. But yesterday didn't really prove to be detrimental. Let's have a look at corporate action today. We've got a few stocks that are going ex-div on Monday. That's Life Healthcare, SPAR, and PPC. You can see the divs there. We had some broker upgrade downgrades. Tiger Brands, which was rated hold at Deutsche Bank, price target $280. Foschini Group rated hold at Deutsche, $113, and Lonman was raised to overweight versus equal weight at Morgan Stanley. It's really interesting. We're going to talk a bunch about some of the platinums today, and I think yesterday we saw some really big volume, really key action there that I think a bit of a difference maker could mark a turning point in these stocks. Okay, a lot of data out today. We had a lot of Japanese numbers overnight. You can see there jobless rate came in line. CPI numbers were a little bit hotter than expected, which is what they want. They want to start to get inflation up. Industrial production better than expected, and housing starts better than expected. So starting to get a bit of a turn up there in Japan. We've got German retail sales. We've got UK mortgage apps. We've got European unemployment rate. We've got Italian CPI. We've got the local trade balance. There's going to be a hell of a lot more weight put on that, obviously, with what we've seen the Rand do over the last few sessions. So really watch that closely. I think these things are going to have a material impact on the Rand. I would say that we probably are expecting worse than what we're looking at right there on that number. I think that's priced into this Rand. So if we were to have something coming in line or even a beat, it would be a huge win for the Rand. And then later in the States, we've got a lot of we've got personal income, we've got personal spending, Chicago PMI, and University of Michigan confidence numbers. All right, let's jump into the maps. Okay, the first thing I want to have a look at is the best chart around. That is starting to look quite overextended, but I just wanted to point out, this is obviously the dollar rand chart. We talked about this the other day. It seems like maybe 3 days ago that we talked about this chart, and we had given a target of 10 rand 20 as our target on the breakdown, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that we more or less have reached that target yesterday. I think we traded to about 10.14 on the dollar rand, and which is amazing here is this onslaught in the rand has literally happened since May 6th, which is incredible. This is a 15 trading session or 17 trading session, just total breakdown from 890 all the way to 10:15 overnight. It's quite incredible. You can see there we've gotten two red candles So there's only been 2 days where the rand's actually bounced in the last 17 sessions, and there's some, obviously we've gone in the last 4 sessions, we've traded all the way from 958 to 1015. So it's really important that we watch this. I mean, we've more or less realized our target here. Obviously we're extremely overextended. The reason why I wanted to talk about it as well, not just to point that out, is also just to the risks that are around there. I personally got caught in this quite badly yesterday, but when you look at the risk to just what one of the local government officials or Jill Marcus or someone like that, if she makes one statement, you could be looking at a 25-cent move in the rand in literally a minute or two. So this is really important that you realize the risk that's in the rand, especially the shares that are dual listed. They'll obviously be the ones that are kind of instantly affected. So be very careful playing in those over the next few sessions. There's a lot of danger around there, so just keep that in mind. All right, next one I want to look at here is the Aussie. I'll have a look at the Aussie on the 30-day here. And you can see, Okay, so you can see here, in terms of a closing basis, I believe we made a new closing high in the Aussie as of yesterday, which would be above 37,600. We're pulling back slightly off of those levels today. This could end up looking like a little bit of a triple top, but just be wary. I mean, if we start to hold above 36,700, this is a bit of a kind of a cup and handle formation here. The target can be significantly higher from here. We're talking about well over 40,000. So just be really careful. If we get above 37,600 and start to hold, this thing can really take off. So keep that one in mind today. Action yesterday in the Aussie, incredibly squeezed again. I mean, the market's felt short for months upon months. It seems like maybe it's only been a month, but it seems like forever. So just be very careful of that one. All right, Impalas. So I'm showing Impalas here. I just want to show how on the year chart how long this and extended the sell-off is, and really that there's probably no real resistance in terms of horizontal resistance until going all the way back to if I draw this at wicks here, we're looking quite close how this horizontal resistance and the descending trend line match up. So I would look somewhere here, maybe call it 112 to 115, somewhere in there before we're really going to run into resistance on Impalas, and we can have a quick look at it on the 30-day, and you can see here that we really broke out significantly above this level that's just been holding so firmly on the offer. And what I would like to point out, if you can see there, the volume bars that we saw yesterday. I mean, we traded 12 million shares in Impalas yesterday. Since I've been doing this career, I've never seen Impalas trade that many shares in a day. Not on closeout, not on corporate action, not on anything. 12 million shares is an absolute difference maker, and the fact that we made the breakout on 12 million shares, I mean, this is definitely my pick of the litter over the next couple sessions. I think for sure it's going to come up somewhere here at least and test resistance, which is like 12% away from here. So keep a very close eye on this one. I really think this thing could have some legs. Expect it to have legs in today's session. I expect it to be a great second day play. So watch that one really closely. We'll also look at another platinum here, which is Amplats. We talked about this the other day. I kind of pointed it out, and I said if we get above 97 on a closing basis or 98, that this thing could really go. And we've got a bit of a little head and shoulder pattern. I mean, this is kind of rough because it's just one little thing here, but we've got a bit of an inverse head and shoulder pattern going all the way up here to about 344. I would say that this may be the area where you would actually 335 maybe want to look to start to exit if you're involved in this one, or if you do get involved in this one. But I think we will most likely test up near this 335 range. And Amplats, I still don't like these shares on a fundamental basis, but technically they're starting to turn around. And obviously this weak rand gives these things a huge shot in the arm. So that's what a lot of this rally has been about. All right, let's look at Gold Fields. All the gold miners obviously had huge days yesterday. At one point, intraday, Harmony was up over 20%, which is incredible on no news. You know, I guess we've known that this sort of thing was coming. And yesterday we finally got it. We got the gold price pushing, and we got the rand that just totally broke down. I think the rand price of gold was up by almost 4% yesterday at one point. And you can see here how Gold Fields has really broken out of its downtrend as of yesterday's session. You know, where this thing can go to, I would maybe, if I just threw out a number as a target, maybe close to $70, just because also was quite an inflection point previously. So keep an eye on this one. I think I really think this could be another second day play today. Could have a little bit more legs. Obviously, this thing continued to extend itself a little bit in the U.S. session, as well as Anglo Gold and all the rest. So just watch those closely today. All right. I want to show Billiton as well. Obviously, Billiton's almost trading back up to all-time highs, but in Pence price, it's not even anywhere near, which is quite amazing. If just have a look here, you know, we've been talking about this sort of pattern has been one of our best setups in the market, or has been probably the best and most consistently profitable trades to make on our market for the last little while. And that's this little continuation pattern where we get a nice pullback off the highs, and then we come up and kind of retest and then go through the highs. You can see here from the bottom of this pattern, you know, we're looking at a 15 rand move to the upside of where we're breaking out from. So the breakout above 290. So the target here is going to be at 305. So just watch those closely over the next few sessions. I think there could be some more room to the upside there. All right. Last one I'm going to show locally is RMI. RMI, a bit of a support play that's potentially coming up today or in the next session or two. Just below 24, I'd call it 23.90. Maybe you want to look at 24 as the place to try to pick up. You know, we had a nice, beautiful breakout on another pattern that's been really consistent over the past year or two in our market. I think if we get back down to about $24, you know, we would have a nice 2 rand retracement, which would be close to 10%. Maybe a nice little area to have a nibble on some of these things around 24 rand. And the last one I'm going to show is AV on the LSE. And I'll just shorten this up a little bit so we can see it when we're looking at a year chart here. But, you know, we kind of turned up out of this downtrend, and on toward the back of this uptrend, you can see here how we've made this beautiful flag pattern. I mean, that is textbook flag pattern there. And we broke out on a closing basis as of yesterday. You know, I think we could project this thing up to the high mid threes. So I think there's significant room to the upside here. You know, it could be another 10-12% to the upside here at AV in London. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.